Alrighty, people, what is happening? How we doing? How we feeling? Week 16 of the fantasy football season. We've got Thursday night football tonight. Saints, Rams, a lot of fantasy relevant players. You got Olave, who's back and healthy. You got Puka, Olave, Kyron. Some of you might be playing Stafford, maybe in Superflex leagues, a little Derek Carr. Heads up, this is our last stream of 2023. This will be the last stream that we do. Reason being is because we are currently a day ahead of you guys over here. And the time that we would normally go live on Saturday night is actually Christmas Eve where we are. So this will be the last stream of the year. We take a 2-week break from Christmas Eve and New Year. And then we will be pumping out content over on our Dynasty channel. If you don't know, we have a Dynasty channel. You can check that out in the description below. But this will be the last stream of 2023. So if you need any questions answered, today is the last time for us to give you an answer on that question. So do me a favor, go ahead and smash the like button. Easy way for you to help support the channel and help us grow. I'm going to be answering questions from top to bottom. Super chats will skip the line. And in fact, we already have a super chat from Kiwi Sports. Meg, what's up, Oos? Let's see. Thank you for your donation, my man. Hope all is well. Championship game, half PPR, 2-quarterback league. He says, help. Which quarterback to play, Browning or Flacco? All right, let's start there. Browning or Flacco? Man, that is an extremely difficult question to answer. I really, really do love Joe Flacco this week. It's a very, very good matchup versus the Texans. Both of these teams, they need this win. I know CJ Stroud is unlikely to play, but I mean, I believe that's going to be a high-scoring game. And Joe Flacco, in the last couple weeks, man, very few players are outscoring Joe Flacco on a per-game basis. Now, in the meantime, Jake Browning is filling in for Joe Burrow with almost no skip of a beat. And we're talking about a player in the last 3 weeks who hasn't scored under 24 points in a 6-point passing touchdown format. This is at Pittsburgh. And then for Joe Flacco, this is at Houston. So I have not checked the weather just yet, Kiwi, but I'm going to say Jake Browning. The only way that would change for me is if there is some weather concerns over in Pittsburgh. If that ends up being the case, I would go ahead and pivot to Joe Flacco, considering he is playing in a dome. You got two great options, though. And then he says, which tight end to play? Cole Kmet, Isaiah Likely, or Hunter Henry? This would be Isaiah Likely for me. He is just starting to kind of catch fire in this offense, and they are using him consistently. Also need 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Tyreek Hill, you definitely play Tyreek. Puka, Zay Flowers, Deontay, Zeke, and Ford. So for me, this would be Tyreek Hill. This would be Puka Nacua. And then between Zay Flowers and Deontay Johnson and Zeke Elliott, man, that's a really tough call for that last spot there. Zeke obviously disappointing last week, but he gets to face the Denver Broncos this week. He should get a ton of usage. But I think I'm going to lean Deontay Johnson there. I'm going to lean Deontay just because if you're in any sort of PPR format, you want that upside through the air. Thank you for that donation, though. We did just get another donation from TM, so we're going to get through these super chats first. Thank you for the donation, my man. It says, start 1 in Superflex, Hal, O'Connell, or Eckler? What a question. I mean, here we are, Austin Eckler. The fall from grace is truly happening right in front of our eyes. Look, I would like to say Eckler, but I don't have any confidence in him at this moment with the team that's around him. And with him playing just 40% of the snaps last time out. So it's going to be between Hal or O'Connell. Now, Sam Howell has one of the worst matchups you can possibly put up. He has to play against the New York Jets. I'd rather play Joe Flacco than Sam Howell. I'd rather play Gardner Minshew, Jake Browning. But the issue is your other option is Aiden O'Connell. And Aiden O'Connell doesn't really have that much better of a matchup facing the Kansas City Chiefs. So this is, a lot of people are going to be starting Aiden O'Connell thinking, wow, he just scored 33 points. Well, keep in mind, guys, the last time he played the Chiefs, he only scored 15. So, look, if it were me, I'm probably going to lean Sam Howell. He has just done it more consistently over the course of the season, but that is a very, very difficult question. I wish you the best of luck. That's a tough one, TM. All right, we got a super chat from Astromine, New York. This is critical. Thank you for the donation, my man. He says, this is critical. Flex 1, Puka, Olave, Zeke, Ridley. All right, so with that first one, you're telling me I can only choose one of these guys? I struggle to not have Puka and Olave both in my starting lineup. That is tough, my man. Man, I really want to start both of those names. You got New Orleans this year, who are quite good against wide receivers. Meanwhile, you got the Rams. Okay, we're going to go Chris Olave there, but, man, I don't want to sit Puka Nacua. You're putting me in a tough spot there. A really, really tough spot, but we are going to go Chris Olave. And then the second question here, pick 2, Kamara, Rachaad White, Gibbs. Good Lord. Good Lord. Oh, my gosh. Put me in a blender here. Kamara, Rachaad White, and Gibbs. Well, look, I have Kamara and Rachaad White both in the top 5 of my rankings, so it would be both of those names. But again, I really struggle to not start a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. But how can you not start Rachaad White? Rachaad White has been so freaking consistent. I know Gibbs is breaking out, but Rachaad White, man, I mean, the RB4 overall, and he's done it in good and bad matchups, right? Versus Atlanta in Week 14, good rushing defense, over 20 PPR points. Versus San Francisco in Week 11, 17.8 PPR points. He has just been so consistent, and it's a tough call, but that's where my mind is going. I can't fathom sitting a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, but that's what I'm going to have to do here in this situation. So hopefully that is helpful. And then he says, last one, Taysom, Hill, or Hunter Henry. You know, Hunter Henry is really starting to get the work from old mate Bailey Zappi. I mean, he is kind of coming alive, I guess you could say, again here to end the year. Now, he did just miss a practice, but we're talking about a guy who, with Bailey Zappi, has not scored under 19 PPR points this year. Taysom Hill, we know he can always pop off. He can always get a goal line touchdown. I think you need to go with a gut call there. But for me, I think the answer would be Hunter Henry. I would say, look, I could recognize that Taysom Hill has a higher upside, but Hunter Henry has the safer floor, in my opinion. He says, last one, Mullins or Love. Okay, Nick Mullins or Jordan Love. Look, this is a good question, but I'm just going to stick with the guy who's done it more often. Carolina is actually a terrible matchup. It's an awful matchup. But I'm going to stick with the likes of Jordan Love. He's just done it more consistently. And I just, as much as I like Nick Mullins, I'm going to rock with Jordan Love myself. So good luck. That is a very, very tough call. I mean, honestly, if I'm honest with you, dude, like every single one of those questions you just asked me, I could see it going another way. But just, you know, again, giving you what I would do. Can't predict exactly what would happen, but that's what I would do. Best of luck. All right, we got a lot of super chats popping in here. Joe Santo is the next one. Thank you, Joe. He says Carr or Gardner and Bears or Miami. So for me, I'm probably going to go Gardner Minshew here. Atlanta Falcons are actually, like, you know, they seem like a terrible matchup, but they're kind of middle of the pack. Derek Carr, look, actually, sorry, my bad. Atlanta is a good matchup for quarterbacks. At the moment, when you adjust for schedule, they are the 6th best matchup. Derek Carr is just so hit and miss. What we do know is Gardner Minshew is throwing the ball a ton. Let's hope that Michael Pittman is going to play, though. And then Bears or Miami's defense. We got the Chicago Bears, who, correct me if I'm wrong, they play the Arizona Cardinals. They have been better. You've also got Miami's defense, who is facing Dallas. Oof. I think I'm going the Bears there, dude. I know Dallas was bad just then, but I think I'm going the Bears. Best of luck. The next super chat is from Pixo. Excuse me. Thank you for the donation. He says, sup, brother? My league has IDP with scoring being 4 points for a sack. Myles Garrett versus Case. Keenan. Montez Sweat versus Kyler. Montez is on fire. Yeah, this would still be Myles Garrett for me. Keep in mind, though, we are not IDP specialists over on this channel, but Myles Garrett is just one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. And I definitely hear you, man. Like, I'm a Washington and a Kansas City fan. And when we traded Montez Sweat, originally I was pretty happy, but we have really been we've been regretting that trade a little bit as of recent. But yeah, that would be Myles Garrett for me. Best of luck. And look, Kyler Murray is more mobile, right? That's what I'm thinking here. Case Keenum is not going to get out of many sacks with his mobility. Dale, thank you for your donation. He says sit one, Amari, JJ, Olave, Henry, Gibbs, and Kyron. Okay, tough call here. Amari Cooper, great matchup this week. You don't ideally want to sit JJ. I don't want to sit Olave. I believe my answer is this full PPR. It is full PPR. It's probably going to be Derrick Henry. Now, I don't imagine Derrick Henry is going to be ruled out of the game plan, but if anyone has the lowest floor here, it's Henry. I mean, we've seen that floor all year long. Last week versus Houston, 5 points in a competitive game. In week 11 versus the Jags, 5 points. Week 10, 3 points. Week 3, 2 points. We know Derrick Henry this year, unlike most years, has a very, very low floor, whereas those other guys in a full PPR format, I can't really find a way to sit them. So best of luck, Dale. We got another super chat from Frank. Tua or Flacco need 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 1 flex. Okay, Tua or Flacco. Let's start there. So Tua faces the Dallas Cowboys. Assuming Tyreek Hill is back, we're going to play Tua tags. That would be my answer for that first one, even though I do like Flacco this week. And then he says, need 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and a flex. Bijan, Barkley, Jones, Monty. And then Olave, Higgins, Devonta Smith, and Godwin. Good Lord, that's some tough calls there. I think I want to play Olave tonight. Higgins is really starting to catch fire with no Jamar Chase. Devonta Smith versus the New York Giants. It's a good matchup, but he kind of disappears at times. I mean, I don't know if it's crazy to say, but I think I have more confidence in Higgins at this moment over a Devonta Smith with no Jamar Chase. Now, of course, weather could change the answer here, guys. But for me, we are starting Bijan. I know a lot of people are worried about Bijan, but I'm starting him against the Colts. The Colts are one of the best matchups when you adjust for schedule. Third, giving up over 28 PPR points per game. We've seen this before, Bijan being underutilized, and then, the next week he's back to his normal role. I do like Aaron Jones this week, but not better than David Montgomery. So I think what we're going to do here, my man, is we are going to go Bijan. We're going to go Monty. And I can only start 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Okay, Olave and Higgins. Jeez, tough call, man. That is a tough call. Best of luck, Frank. I mean, I would strongly encourage your league to kind of expand that starting lineup there because you've got so many good options. All right, Ethan is the next super chat. Thank you, Ethan, for your donation. He says, Mahomes in the rain or Stafford? Yes, Mahomes in the rain or Stafford. It's a good question. Last week, I was strongly suggesting Stafford. This week, I think I'm going to stick with Mahomes. Go with your gut on that one, but that's how I would be leaning there. M. Browning Love, what's up with the donation? Hi, 1 flex, Achane, Rice, Collins. Okay, so that would be Rashee Rice. He's a must start at this point. He is turning into the number 1 there, even over Travis Kelce, as crazy as that sounds, because teams are just locking up Kelce. And then 1 tight end, Hill or Henry. I'm assuming that's Taysom Hill, and I'm assuming that's Hunter Henry. We answered that question earlier. We would be going Hunter Henry. Just with Bailey Zappi under center, he has kind of started to gain some momentum, but of course, neither of those tight ends really give you all the confidence in the world, do they? I mean, we have to be honest here and just say for a second, you're throwing up a Hail Mary with both of those options, right? All right, the next super chat is from Houdini Weenie Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Thank you for the donation, my man. PPR, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. All right, 2 running backs we got to pick here between Swift, Etienne, Jones, Monty, Gus. All right, so we are starting Travis Etienne. It's not a good matchup, but we are going to trust the guy who got us there. Swift, man, I don't know how much I can trust Swift anymore. I think I play Aaron Jones and Monty over Swift, but we're gonna go Swift. We're gonna go Etienne and Monty. At wide receiver, we can start 3 of them. You're starting Tyreek, you're starting A.J. Brown, and if Michael Pittman plays, you start Michael Pittman. If there's no Michael Pittman, we will go ahead and pivot to Lockett. Hollywood's just completely unreliable at this point. And then at tight end, wow, you have to choose between Laporta and Trey McBride. My tight end 2 and my tight end 3 in my rankings. This will come down to matchup. Sam Laporta is at Minnesota. Trey McBride's at Chicago. Minnesota is one of the worst matchups for tight ends. Chicago's not really that much better. Look, I think Trey McBride is the safer play. But Trey McBride is not going to score 3 touchdowns. Hear where I'm coming from here. Trey McBride is the safer play. However, he will not be the one scoring 3 touchdowns for you. That's how I would play it. If you need safety, Trey. If you need upside, go Laporta. That should be a high-scoring game. It is in a dome as well, so that's an advantage. And then at the flex spot, really, I'm choosing between Aaron Jones and one of those tight ends. And honestly, in a full PPR league, I think I lean the tight ends anyway. So again, Etienne, Monty, Tyreek, A.J. Brown, Pittman. If no Pittman, Lockett. And then we're going to go Laporta and McBride in the flex. Best of luck. Houdini Weenie, this is another question here. Thank you for the donation. He says, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 2 flex spots. So obviously we're starting CMC. We're starting Kyren Williams. No doubt about that. At wide receiver, we'll go Olave and Evans. At tight end, we will go McBride. And then we have 2 flex options. I'm trying to remember who Kenneth Walker plays. He plays Tennessee. We're going to flex Ken Walker, and we're going to flex Garrett Wilson. And look, you're going to have to decide if you're comfortable with Garrett Wilson this week or not. To me, the matchup is just too good for him to fail. You have a team that is the only team in the NFL that's giving up more than 4 touchdowns a game in the Washington Commanders. They're averaging over 30 points allowed per game. They give up the most passing yards per game. They give up the most rushing yards per game, the most total yards per game, or the 11th most rushing yards per game, but the most rushing total yards per game. Say yards per game 5 times fast, right, guys? But as far as wide receivers, they're the 2nd best matchup. And yeah, so that's where we are going to go there. Thank you for the donation. Adam, what's up, Adam? Start 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 2 flexes. All right, Pacheco, JT Gibbs, Monty. Good Lord. Wide receivers are Jefferson, DJ. I'm assuming DJ Moore and DK. So the way I'm playing this personally is I'm playing all those running backs. You can play 4 of them, and we're playing all 4. We're playing Pacheco. We're playing Jonathan Taylor. We're playing Gibbs. We're playing Monty. We will then... but wait, I just realized we have to play one of these wide receivers, don't we? I'm assuming DJ Moore is who you're talking about when you say DJ. Yeah, you gotta start DJ Moore. Okay, this is making it much more complicated. Honestly, Adam, hopefully for you, Jonathan Taylor doesn't play, so you don't have to make this difficult decision. Tough call, dude. I love Pacheco this week, but I think the way I will play this is JT Gibbs, Monty, Jefferson, DJ Moore, JT Gibbs, Monty, Jefferson, DJ Moore. Yeah, that's your answer. Two running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 2 flexes, right? So yeah, we went JT Gibbs. At wide receiver, we're going DJ Moore, and at the flex spot, we're going Monty and DJ, Just Jefferson. Hopefully that helps. Cameron, what's up, my man? Flacco or Kyler, different league, Fields or Mahomes. I'll still go Kyler there. It is close. I love Flacco this week, but he doesn't have the rushing upside that a Kyler Murray does. Different league, Fields or Mahomes. I would go Justin Fields there. I would go Justin Fields over Mahomes versus the Arizona Cardinals. That should be a great game for him. All right, and the last super chat from now is from El Tigre. What is up, my man? What's up? Thank you for your donation. He says, start 2, Hal, Carr, or Russ. Man, tough call here. We got Russell Wilson versus New England. We've got Derek Carr versus the Rams tonight. So I'll go ahead. I'll start Russell Wilson. What I'm really struggling with is Derek Carr and Sam Howell. Most cases you're going Sam Howell, but this matchup is not ideal. I'm still going Sam Howell. He's done it more consistently. He's been the less injured player. That's where I lean. But of course, you have to keep in mind, El Tigre, if you have a feeling that there's any possibility Howell gets benched, you got to make that call yourself. But for me, I'm going to go Russell Wilson and Sam Howell. It's a tough call because I got some Sam Howell in some super flex leagues. I'm trying to figure that out myself. All right, guys, those are all the super chats for now. Keep in mind, super chats will skip the line for you. Otherwise, I'm going in order from top to bottom. The first question that I can see is from It's Lit. He says, Olave, Etienne, Rice, pick 2. Honestly, this is probably the 2 wide receivers, but I do love Etienne. What's up, Jimmy? He says, happy holidays. Start 2 out of Higgins, Hawkinson, and Laporta. Terry says, did you get my super chat? Terry, I don't see a super chat from you. I don't see any super chat from you, Terry. Let me know if I'm missing something, though. Jimmy says, yo, happy holidays. Start 2 out of Higgins, Hawkinson, and Laporta. Very difficult question here. Man, how do you sit one of those tight ends? Like, how do you do that? Oh, my brother, that is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go Laporta and T. Higgins. Sheesh. That's a tough call. Guys, did I miss a super chat? I don't want to miss a super chat. I don't see one though. I'm looking. I want to make sure we get to everyone. I don't see anyone. Jimmy says, also, I need a wide receiver 3 and a flex between Flowers, Ridley, Jason, and Singletary. Also, I need a wide receiver 3 and a flex between Flowers, Ridley, Jason, and Singletary. All right. So, man, Flowers was looking so promising. And we saw the floor last week. A game without Mark Andrews. He gets 2 targets. What are the Ravens doing? This is going to be Ridley for me. And man, Singletary is on a tear, isn't he? He is on a tear. It's not a very good matchup though. I think that's what we got to do. We got to go Ridley and Singletary. That is not a fun question though. We did just get a super chat from Ace Takeoff. He says McBride, Gus Bus, or Jordan Addison at the flex. Probably McBride here, my man. He's just so consistent. I mean, we keep telling people to start him, and it keeps paying off. But they're, with Hollywood Brown not being healthy, this is the offense. It's Trey McBride and Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's just doing his absolute best to try and carry this team to a win. But thank you for the donation there. Again, donations will skip the line for you guys. John Blitz is the next one that's in order, though, and he says Drake London or Tyler Lockett. Drizzy, Drake, London, or Tyler Lockett. So you have one player who is undoubtedly the number 1 target on his team, but the team never really consistently throws him the ball. You have another player who is the wide receiver 2, 3 on his team, and every once in a while he blows up. Neither of these guys are reliable, but I'm going to go Drake London there. And what should be... every time it feels like every time the Colts play, it's a huge scoring game. It feels like they're always in blowouts, or not blowouts, excuse me, shootouts rather. So that's what I would do, John. All right, we did get some super chats. PL is the next one. He says, really think about this one. All right, let me really think about this one. I'm actually gonna hold my temples together as I do it. Thank you for the donation. I'm just kidding. Bijan, Chandler, Montgomery. Bijan is obvious, but F. Arthur Smith. Also, flex Ayuk or Mostert. Well, you just can't sit Mostert, can you? You can't sit Mostert. I mean, people are trying to spin a narrative on Mostert consistently. But the guy is breaking records. I mean, he's still the RB2 in fantasy. You can't sit him. Take away Raheem's name and put any other name there. You know, would you sit that player? If his name was Alvin Kamara and he was putting up that kind of fantasy production, you know, you wouldn't consider sitting him. So we'll go Mostert in that last one. But so is PL asking me here to choose one of these running backs? As in I can choose between Bijan, Chandler, or Montgomery, or am I choosing two? If I had to choose two, it would be Bijan and Monty. If I had to choose one, you're now making me choose between my RB11 and my RB12 on the week. And how I would personally play this is I would be starting Bijan Robinson. You have got to go with your gut here. I totally understand if this is something that you're not willing to do, but this brings me back to earlier in the season where Bijan Robinson kind of shit the bed versus Minnesota in week 9. He only had 5.9 points. He wasn't used the way that we wanted him to. And then he had a great matchup the week after versus the Cardinals. And I was confidently telling people to start him. He goes out, has 24 total touches, over 100 all-purpose yards, and a touchdown. This is another one of those really, really spicy matchups against the Colts. When you adjust for schedule, they are the third best matchup, giving up over 28 points per game. So look, if it were me and my life on the line, I would be going Bijan Robinson. I can understand. Let's be honest here for a second, right? PL, the safer play is David Montgomery. You got to decide how you want to play this. The safer play is David Montgomery. The higher upside is Bijan Robinson. So if it was me, I'd be going Bijan. If you want to play it safe and you don't want someone to just lose your week, then you can go Montgomery. But again, for me, Bijan and Mostert, again, hopefully that helps. Go with your gut there. I'd say that for anyone here today, guys. With your fantasy hopes on the line, I'll tell you what I would do. I'll give you the rationale behind it. But at the end of the day, make sure you're going with your gut, okay? Because we don't have a crystal ball here, unfortunately. But hopefully that is helpful, my man. Hector is the next donation. He says, Taysom Hill or Schultz? Man. Schultz would be a interesting play here if we had CJ Stroud. What did Schultz do last week with no CJ Stroud? Last week he caught 4 or 5 targets. I'll go Dalton there. I know Nico is back. Again, the way to answer this question is, what do you need out of your tight end? If your tight end bombs for you, will you be okay? Because if that's the case, you go Taysom Hill. He clearly has the higher upside. However, if you really need someone to just give you something and not bomb for you, that would be Dalton Schultz. So that's how I will play it. And he says, and sit 2 between Monty, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs, and DJ Moore. Well, you can't sit DJ Moore against the Cardinals. This is going to be, how do I sit Aaron Jones? He's going to go off. I think Aaron Jones. And then between Monty and Josh Jacobs. Ugh. Man. Is Josh Jacobs fully healthy? If Josh Jacobs is fully healthy and there's no concern, I will go Jacobs. But if there is some concerns, okay, we're gonna sit Aaron Jones, and we're gonna sit Josh Jacobs. We'll go Monty and DJ Moore. Best of luck. That is tough. Another one from a different Hector. We got 2 Hectors back to back in the chat. You love to see it. Hey, in a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, I have now Kamara, White, Diggs, Kupp, Nakua on the bench. Achane, Hall, Mixon, Collins. Thoughts? Yeah, you got to start Kamara. You got to start White. Diggs has been really, really bad, but he should bounce back. Kupp, Nakua, both guys you want in your lineup. So on your bench, you have Mixon, Achane, Hall, and Collins. Yeah, this is how I would play it myself, man. You have it exactly how I would play it. Best of luck. That's a tough call. Daniel Macy with the next donation. He says, happy holidays, brother. Pick 2 running backs to start. Happy holidays to you as well, Macy. Okay, we'll pick 2 RBs here. Walker, Monty, Ford, Aaron Jones. This will probably be the first 2, Walker and Monty for me. Jerome Ford, he is playing. I'm not sure how healthy that... isn't it his wrist? Is it his wrist? It's somewhere around his hands. I'm not sure how healthy that is. And I do like playing Aaron Jones if you don't have these kind of options like Walker or Monty. But Walker and Monty are more consistent for you. Best of luck. Terry with the donation. Terry says pick 2. Puka, Devonta Smith, Ty. Is that Ty Chandler? I'm guessing that's Ty Chandler. Puka, Devonta Smith, and Ty Chandler. It would be the 2 wide receivers for me there if it's a PPR league. And then pick 1 between Ridley, Chuba, Reed, and Ken Walker. Ooh, tough call. Tough call there. So Chuba's been getting a lot of volume. He gets the Packers this week. That's exciting. Ridley has a great matchup. Jaden Reed is just balling out. I don't think Watson plays, but he doesn't have a very good matchup. I will be going Ken Walker there. Very tough call. But, I mean, if Ken Walker can do it versus the San Francisco 49ers, he can do it versus anyone. Right? Last week, 22 total touches. Zach Charbonnet took a back seat. And we'll go Ken Walker there. That's a tough call. Lethal Jake, what's up, my man? He says, PPR Stafford, Baker, Waller, Goddard, Chandler, Reed. Okay, between Stafford and Baker, that's a close call. I really like Baker this week, guys. I think I'm going Baker. And then between Waller and Goddard, Waller did come back last week. He didn't really make a very big impact. I'm going to go Dallas Goedert. And then between Chandler and Reed, if Jaden Reed is playing, I will play Jaden Reed. I have no issues if that's truly your best option. And it sounds like that is potentially the case for you. Give me 1 second. My wife just texted me. Sorry, guys. Just me on the stream today. And she's helping us out with our visas here in Australia. And I just need to make sure I answer her because I want my wife to be happy. Yes, so I would go Reed if he's playing, but Chandler is a fine option if Reed can't suit up. Thank you so much for the donation, man. I really, really appreciate you. The next donation is from Chris Cross Applesauce. Chris Cross has been coming weekly, donating, supporting the channel. Thank you for the love this year. Again, guys, this is the last stream we'll have this year. We take a 2-week break from Christmas to New Year, and then we will actually be popping off on our Dynasty channel. If y'all don't know, we have a Dynasty channel. Link in the description. But Chris Cross Applesauce says, start Flacco. His opponent has Cooper and Njoku. That's kind of mental warfare, isn't it? Minshew. Opponent has Michael Pittman Jr. or Mullins. I have JJ. Lost Keenan. What do I do at flex? All right, let's start with that first question. Flacco, Minshew, or Mullins? Flacco's a great play this week at Houston. I also like Minshew. I'm not going to overthink based off what your opponent's doing. I'm just going to answer based off of what I perceive to be the best options for you. Because oftentimes we can overthink things. So, excuse me. For me, that is going to be Joe Flacco. And then at flex, Nico, Spears, or Douglas. Look, Nico Collins, it's tough to project him without Case Keenum, but he is the best option here for you. Spears can have a good game, but it's going to have to be with this team coming back from behind. And Pop Douglas is a fun player, but we can't rely on him at this point in fantasy football. So that's how I would approach it. Do us a favor, guys. Go ahead and smash that like button. You guys have been awesome today. So many super chats, so many likes. We are 9 likes away from 50 last stream of 2023. Samuel Piazza with the next super chat. He says, pick 2, Puka, Pollard, Jacobs. Concerned about Puka tonight. Yeah, tough call here, man. Samuel, I can feel this pain with you. I think I would choose Puka over both of those names. I'm really just trying to figure out what running back to play between Pollard and Jacobs. And I will lean Josh Jacobs if he plays and he's fully healthy. You know, if there's a report that comes out that says Josh Jacobs he's going to be limited, he'll be on a snap count, then you can pivot to Pollard. But assuming he's healthy, we'll go that combo there. Good luck. That's a tough call. All right, next question from Jacob Johnson. My quarterbacks are T-Law and Stroud. Oh, buddy. Can we all just put some... can we put some prayer emojis in the chat for my guy Jacob? Because having Trevor Lawrence and Stroud as your quarterbacks with $700 on the line, I mean, that's worst case scenario this week, isn't it? Do I pick up starts? Do I pickle up? I'm sure you meant to say pick up. Starts Ford in case those two can't go. I also have Cup, so I could double or points. Man, I'm trying to understand the question here. Jerome, are you talking about Jerome Ford? Okay, I'm confused because you were asking questions about quarterback, and now we're talking about Jerome Ford, right? Jacob, let me know. You don't have to donate again, but just put it in the chat. Let me know what I'm missing. Maybe there's some context here that I'm not understanding. Because I want to answer this question well for you, because obviously you've donated to the channel here. But I need a little more context. What do you mean when you say you're talking about these quarterbacks and then you're talking about picking up Jerome Ford? Who else could he means? Do I pick up? Oh, Stafford. Yeah. Ham, I think Ham's putting it together. Oh, you didn't need to donate, Jacob. Thank you. Okay. Stafford. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm the idiot. I've been thinking about Jerome Ford. Okay. So, do I pick up? Look, honestly, man, at the moment, okay, so we know Stroud is not going to play, right? That's pretty much set in stone. One of those rare 2-week concussion issues. As for Trevor Lawrence, he could still play, but he has not practiced this week. And oftentimes you only have hope of someone playing if they're in concussion protocol, but they're still, they're still practicing. So I don't personally think you can afford to wait on one of those guys. If Stafford is your best option on the waiver wire, I think you've got to pick him up. I can't promise you it's going to go well tonight, but I think it's the best play. If your options are Trevor, Stroud, and Stafford, I think you got to go Stafford because we just don't even know if Trevor's going to play. And right now, there are more indications to tell us that he won't than indications to tell us that he will. So tough call tonight. You know, if anything, if it brings you any hope, I believe Marcus Lattimore is not going to play. Yeah, he's not going to play. So hopefully that is helpful. But best of luck, Jacob. That is tough. Fantasy is so fickle, isn't it? Phoenix with the donation says, thank you for helping me get to the finals. Oh, that's awesome. No worries. Thank you for the donation. Need a second RB. Brian Robinson, Tajay Spears, Chase Brown. I don't believe Brian Robinson is going to play, guys. He has not practiced so far. And those hamstring injuries, the only thing that can really heal them is time. So I think you're probably going to have to choose between Tajay Spears and Chase Brown. Is there any sort of PPR? It's a full PPR league. I think I'm going to go Tajay Spears there. I'm going to go Tajay. You know, the Titans are facing Seattle, so this should be a competitive game. And you just got to hope it's one of those games where Seattle gets up early and they hammer Tajay Spears in the passing game. So yeah, best of luck there. Mr. Tres Cerro Cinco, thank you for the donation, my boy. Stafford Mahomes. I have the combo with Puka. I love it. I do love Puka tonight. Let's be honest for a second here, Mr. Tres Cerro Cinco. What you're coming to the stream for is a confident answer. I can't give you confidence, but I can give you honesty and transparency. If I was in this situation, I would find it difficult to continually trust Mahomes, but ultimately, based off of the caliber of player that Mahomes is, I would ultimately start him. But I can't sit here and tell you that I have tremendous amount of confidence in that decision. However, if it brings you any sort of, you know, joy, just know that since week 8, Patrick Mahomes' highest scoring game was against the Raiders in week 12. So this would be Patrick Mahomes for me. You know, we have a saying here, start your stars, keep it simple, stupid. We say that to ourselves all the time. And this would be Mahomes for me, but best of luck. And we got another super chat from We Buy Homes. He says, question below. Thank you for the donation. He says, championships week, 6-team, non-PPR. So I guess just standard scoring then. I'm starting Kyren and Alvin Kamara. Which of these guys would you flex, or would you swap anyone out? Etienne, Walker, or Pacheco? And you have Hall there as well. Good Lord. Oh, okay. So to clarify, you don't need to donate again, but you're telling me there's no PPR involved at all. Is that correct? You're telling me absolutely no PPR involved in this decision. It is straight standard scoring, which means that we are ultimately relying on yardage. Just give me a correct or a, you know, let me know in the chat there, because that will obviously have an impact. But Alvin Kamara, you can't sit him even in a standard format. He's been so freaking good. And you currently have Kyren Williams in there, who he's been incredible too. Man, that's tough because tonight could go really well for you or really bad. I really love Pacheco this week, man. I really, really do. But I don't know exactly how healthy he is. And Kyren and Alvin have just been so much more consistent. Walker just coming off a great game. I think, and Breece Hall has a fantastic matchup versus the Washington Commanders. But if there's no PPR involved at all, we're going to stick with what we have in Kyren Williams and Alvin Kamara. And I wish you the absolute best of luck because that's a very difficult call. Thank you for the donation. Bruce with another donation. He says, rank, please. Full PPR, Hubbard, Connor, Singletary, or Chandler Ford. I need 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and rank these guys then. So you said Hubbard, who has a good matchup versus the Packers. He's getting ridiculous volume. James Conner at Chicago. I like that. And Connor's kind of, you know, picking it up lately. Kyler Murray and Trey McBride are the offense in Arizona. It makes it very simple for fantasy purposes. You've got a guy in the last 2 games who's averaging over 20 touches per game. You got Singletary, who is setting the league on fire. You got Ty Chandler, who we believe is going to take that role. Okay, so tough call. If it was me, I'd be going James Conner at Chicago and Devin Singletary versus the Cleveland Browns. But I have to be honest when I answer this question and tell you that all these guys are within like a couple spots of my rankings. So I can see different ranges of outcome, but that's what I would be doing if I was in your shoes. Absolute best of luck. I hope it works out. All right, guys, I'm going to go back up to the top, the very, very top. I'm going to answer questions from top to bottom. Super chats will skip the line. You have no obligation to do so, but keep in mind, I will only be live for the next 30 minutes, and it's the last stream of the year before we go on break. Jimmy T says Jordan Love or Tua. We're going to go Tua there. Got to be Toom says Stafford or Fields, Olave or Rice. I would go Fields, and between Olave or Rice, I'd be going Olave, but it's very close. I love Rashee Rice this week. So best of luck. Tua or Joe Flacco? We'll go Tua. And Septimus says, happy holidays. I need to bench one wide receiver. Amari Cooper, Garrett Wilson, and Cortland Sutton. Can't sit Amari this week. Sutton's been great. He's got New England. We'll probably have to... I'm going to sit Sutton. I'm going to sit Sutton there. Also need to bench one running back. Rachaad White, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Kenneth Walker. It's half PPR. I'd be sitting probably Kenneth Walker, man. I mean, you can't sit White or Gibbs. Tough call. All right, we do have a super chat from Rico, so he's going to skip the line. Rico says, full PPR, RB pick 2, Joe Mixon, Saquon Barkley, Devon Achane, Tyler Algier, Zamir White. So we pick 2 running backs. Okay, so let's start there. Picking 2 running backs. We got Mixon at Pittsburgh. Looks like a good matchup. We got Saquon at Philly. Not an ideal matchup there. You got Devon Achane versus Dallas. I think he could have a good week. We're going to go with the first 2, though. Mixon and Saquon. And then wide receiver pick 3 between Adams, Addison, Collins, Lockett, Olave, Pittman. So this would be Adams, Olave, Pittman for me, if Pittman plays. Now, if Pittman doesn't play, we will pivot between Addison, we'll pivot to Nico Collins there. Yeah, we'll pivot to Nico Collins if Addison doesn't play, or if Pittman doesn't play. All right, so that answers, or then he says tight end, Laporta or Kittle. Whew. Stand strong, Pip, he says. I mean, Laporta and Kittle, 2 very good options. I'm just going to keep riding with Sam Laporta, though. That is in a dome as well. That is something that we have to think about at this time of the year. Where's Kittle playing? I'm trying to remind myself. Versus Baltimore. It's in San Francisco. Weather shouldn't be an issue anyway there. But, yeah, I'm going to probably go Sam Laporta there. Both very, very good options. So, best of luck there. All right, that's all the super chats for now. We're going to go to the top and answer questions from top to bottom in order. Super chats, again, we'll skip the line. The Pitcher Man says, what's up, guys? Half point PPR, need a running back, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Okay, so let's start at running back. We'll start Raheem Mostert. 2 wide receivers between Adams, Diggs, Rashee Rice. We'll go Adams and Diggs. And for flex, we'll go Rashee Rice. Although I do like Breece this week, that's just how it panned out for me. Austin Johnson says, need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex, full PPR. Gibbs, Mixon, Saquon, Connor, Aaron Jones, Tyreek, Adams, and Cooper. Well, if Tyreek plays, you absolutely play him. Let's start at the running back spot, though. Gibbs is in, for sure. And I'm probably going to play Mixon over the likes of Saquon and Aaron Jones, although I do like those names. So we'll go Gibbs and Mixon. And then at wide receiver, we will go Tyreek and Devontae Adams. And at flex, we can choose between, it looks like Saquon, Aaron Jones, and Amari Cooper. Love Amari Cooper's matchup this week. He's got a gunslinger throwing him the ball. We'll go Amari Cooper. Frank says, need 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and a flex. Bijan, Barkley, Aaron Jones, and Monty. Higgins, Olave, Devonta Smith, and Godwin. Okay, so at the running back spot, we will go Bijan and Monty. At the wide receiver spot, we will go, personally, I would go Olave. And then you need 1 flex. I'd probably go Higgins there. Best of luck. Black Walker, what's up? Puka, Ayuk, or Jacobs for my flex? I would lean Puka. Really close. Also, which defense this week? Denver versus the Patriots or Philly versus the Giants? That would be the... Good call. Good question. I'll go Eagles still. I'll go Eagles. Very, very difficult one. All right, we did get a super chat. So We Buy Homes. Looks like they are going to skip the line here with their donation. And the question is, standard format. Sorry, I worded the question weird. I'm starting Kyron and Alvin Kamara, but I need one to flex out of Hall, Etienne. Okay, my bad. Okay, gotcha. So you need one between Hall, Etienne, and again, there is no there's no PPR when we consider this as well. So you've got Breece Hall against Washington. The issue with Breece is that this year most of his production has come through the air. And that's a little concerning. Etienne at Tampa Bay, it's not the best matchup. You got Ken Walker at Tennessee. Pacheco is standing out to me in a standard format. If Pacheco is completely healthy, full go, I'll go Pacheco in a standard league where we're not looking at PPR at all. But if Pacheco is somewhat limited, I think I would switch to Walker there. So that would be my answer. Best of luck, and thank you for the donation. Again, back to the top of the page. We'll go back to the top of the page. We'll answer questions from top to bottom. Again, Super Chats will skip the line. Ham says, really stuck with start sit this week. Start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Etienne, Aaron Jones, Monty, Zeke, Chandler, JT, James Conner. Well, the reason you're stuck, my guy, is because you have like 7 starting running backs. Yeah, I mean, I would be stuck too if I had all the starting running backs in my league. Okay, so Etienne at Tampa Bay. It's not a good matchup, but we love Etienne. Okay, so my instant gut reaction is Jonathan Taylor. Doesn't look like Zach Moss is going to play either behind him. So Jonathan Taylor and Travis Etienne. Then at wide receiver, I'm going Cooper Kupp, and I'll go Devonta Smith. And you know what? Good news is we can flex one of those running backs anyway. We'll flex Montgomery. John, what's up, my man? He says, Hopkins, Fairbairn, or Moody. Which kicker should I start? Yeah, we're digging into a bag here, pretending like we know who's going to answer or who's going to be the best option here. I have no idea, honestly, but it would probably be Moody on the best offense. And, you know, in a game where you could see a lot of field goals, right? We have 2 good defenses, good offenses. Oftentimes you see a lot of field goals in those types of games. And then he says PPR, pick 2 at flex, Mostert, Ayuk, Garrett Wilson. That'd be Mostert and Ayuk for me. Best of luck. Okay, we did just get a super chat from Elijah, so we're going to answer his question. I haven't drank any water in an hour, so give me 1 second as I read this. He says Tua or Flacco. I believe that Tyreek Hill is going to play, and if that is the case, I'm going Tua Tagovailoa. Y'all know with Waddle, with Tua, I mean, it only takes one play to completely change your fantasy day, so I'm going to rock with Tua there. And the good news, by the way, is in some ways this could be a better matchup for Tua because all these games are kind of dominating offensively, and they just let Raheem Mostert rush for multiple touchdowns. Well, they might not be able to do that against the Cowboys, right? Michael Monzo, what's up, my man? He says, fantasy playoffs, let's go. Love it for you, my guy. Superflex, PPR, big play bonuses, leagues, okay? I'm worried about Scary Terry against the Jets, and honestly, I think rightfully so. Pick 2 for flex, Terry, Warren, J-Mo, Waller. I have Kincaid starting at tight end. Yeah. I mean, I am also concerned about Terry. But Jaylen Warren, Jameson Williams, Darren Waller, how can you really have any confidence in those guys either? I'll go Terry and Warren, but I do not have confidence in that answer. Warren against the Bengals. Najee's been atrocious. Oh, best of luck, Monzo. That's tough, man. We did get a super chat, so Eduardo is going to skip the line. Eduardo says Stafford or Flacco. Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm going to go Stafford there, but I brought Flacco in a video this week as like a fantastic streaming option if you don't have a better name out there. But Stafford, I mean, over the last couple weeks, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, so we're going to roll with him. Best of luck, though. We did just get those are all the super chats for now. Again, going back up to the top and answering questions in order. 2 quick ones, fellas. Love the channel. Philly, Indy, or Denver's defense? We'll go Philly there. And he says Pacheco or Mixon. I haven't had that one yet. Pacheco or Mixon. I think we go Mixon. I think we go Mixon still. Mixon is just, I mean, he's the centerpiece of that offense at the moment. What's up, Tay? Start one running back and one flex. Chandler, Addison, Gus, Ford, Warren, Aaron Jones, Lockett. Okay, cool. This is a question where I finally get to say Aaron Jones. So we'll go Aaron Jones. And at the flex spot, oh, Gus and Chandler. That's where I'm stuck between Gus and Chandler. Obviously, Gus, you know, his matchup isn't as bad as people are saying. But Chandler. If Ty Chandler is labeled the starting running back and Madison is going to be limited, he's not fully healthy, I'll go Ty Chandler. But if Madison is healthy and they come out with this BS and they say it's going to be a split backfield, you go Gus Edwards, okay? Best of luck. Jaden Reed or Flowers, I'll go Reed if he plays. And Septa says, which kicker would you guys start this week between Tyler Bass and Evan McPherson? Okay, so between Bass and Evan McPherson, let's be honest, we're kind of guessing here. I'll go Tyler Bass. It's at Los Angeles with the Chargers, so it's going to be in a dome, and they'll probably put up a lot of points. And then he says, also, what defense should I start between the Browns, Chiefs, and Jets? Browns, Chiefs, and Jets. I would go Chiefs this week, personally, versus the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, did just get a super chat, so that super chat is going to skip the line. The Blue Menace. Thank you for the donation, man. He says, full PPR start, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Bijan, Etienne, Pacheco, DJ Moore, Rashee Rice, D-Hop. I need to take a seat. Y'all ever talked like just continuously for hours? I mean, this stuff is exhausting. I didn't realize. All right, let's try and wrap our heads around this one. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. Man, you got some great options, dude. How on a weekly basis, how are you really choosing between these guys? Okay, so for me, I'm going Bijan, Etienne. At wide receiver, I would go DJ Moore and Puka. And then I can flex one too, right? That would be Rashee Rice for me. I'd flex Rashee Rice. And then you put it at the bottom. So it looks like you're thinking exactly like I am. You got Bijan, Etienne, Moore, Puka, Rashee. And then as far as Pacheco goes, I do like Pacheco this week, but we don't know exactly how healthy he is. There's a chance that they split time. I do love the matchup, but, you know, I'm just going to trust those guys who are a little bit more healthy. So best of luck, and thank you for the donation. It looks like that's the same question there. Thank you for the donation, my man. Best of luck with that one. Brian Orlando, who sounds like I've said this before. Sounds like a superhero or something, or even like a defense attorney. Were you recently injured or in an accident? Call Brian Orlando. It's a strong ass name. He says start Flowers, London, Palmer, Douglas. Okay, let's start there. Flowers, London, Palmer, Douglas. I'm not trusting Palmer or Douglas. I know it sounds ridiculous as Flowers literally just puts up a one reception game last week, but look, all these guys are inconsistent, right? So I'm going to say Flowers, and it's going to sound ridiculous because of what he did last week, but at the same time, Drake London disappears all the time. Palmer really only had a good game because of that breakaway touchdown last week, and Douglas hasn't had any upside. I'll go Flowers. And then Chicago or Kansas City's defense, I will go Kansas City. Thank you for the donation, my man. All right, guys, we're going to be live for the next 15 minutes all the way up until kickoff. This is the last stream of the year. Keep that in mind. Super chat, skip the line. Otherwise, I'm going in order. The next question is from Kyrus. He says, howdy. Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, DeAndre Swift. I'll go Amari Cooper myself. Next question is Achan Wilson, Jones, Monty, Pick a running back and a flex. Wilson. That'd be Garrett Wilson, maybe. That's probably Garrett Wilson. We're going to go Montgomery and Achane in a full PPR league. Eric, what's up? Full PPR, 1 quarterback, Murray or Flacco. I'll go Murray. 3 wide receivers, Lamb, Higgins, Evans, Pittman, Ridley. Got to start Lamb. You got to start Evans. And if Pittman plays, you got to start Pittman. If Pittman doesn't play, Higgins is a great option. 2 running backs, Kyren, Mixon. You got to start Kyren and Mixon. And then 1 tight end, you got to start Laporta. And you know what? We will go ahead and flex Higgins. So, again, it is Kyler. It is Lamb, Evans, Pittman. It is Laporta. And it is Higgins. Flacco or Baker? Yeah, good question, man. I'm probably rolling with Baker, though. Baker brought me into the second round of the playoffs in one of my dynasty leagues. I'm going to roll with him in another good matchup versus the Jags. We did just get a couple super chats. The first one's from Steven. Steven, thanks for the donation, man. Appreciate you. Another OG who's always donating and supporting. Kittle, Pickens, or JMO at the flex. I think you got to go Kittle there. Ideally, Jameson Williams goes off, but we know he's not built any trust at this point. Also starting Goff. So I could see where you would, want Jameson to go off. I mean, look, we know this. Jameson can score a long touchdown, but at the same time, he can also disappear. The same could be said for Kittle, but Kittle's more consistently one matchup, so I'll go Kittle. Jake Paris says Puka or Higgins. Great question. I'm gonna go Puka. Really close. Really tough one. That is a very tough one. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, going in order from top to bottom. The next question that I can see is from Macy. What's up, Macy? He says, pick 2 running backs to start from the following: Ken Walker, David Montgomery. I think we answered. Did we answer this one in a super chat, Macy? I'm trying to remember. I remember you super chat. I just don't remember what the. Yes, we answered this one in a super chat. Jeff, what's up? He says, first round bye my playoffs. Can I trust Saquon versus Philly or start Ty Chandler? Ooh. Look, I would put Saquon out there. You have 2 running backs who are going to see a lot of volume versus very difficult run defenses. The difference is Saquon Barkley is a superstar. But, of course, Ty Chandler's on a better offense. I would go say. And then Broncos or Browns defense. I would be willing to go Denver this week. I'd be willing to go Denver. Okay. Need 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. DK, Noah Brown, and Zay Flowers. I'll go DK. Well, here's the problem with Noah Brown. The problem is that Nico Collins is back. It's silly. It's silly season over in Houston. They're just every wide receiver is turning into a superstar. It's redonkulous. Yeah, we're gonna go DK and Zay. Best of luck. I'm pretty sure we answered this one in a super chat for Mr. Tres05. Let me know in the chat quickly if we didn't, but I think we answered that in a super chat. I'll look out for your comment. Happy holidays, Donald. Derek Carr or Kyler? I'll go Kyler. Joe says Carr or Russell Wilson, or wait for T-Law and CJ. This would be Russell Wilson for me. Ideally Trevor Lawrence, but it doesn't look like he's going to play. Indigo says, should I start Trey McBride over Garrett Wilson and Calvin Ridley? I would. I have Sam Laporta. Yeah, I would start Trey. What's up, Steven? He says PPR start 2 wide receivers. Cup, Waddle, Puka, Olave, McBride, or Kelsey. My wife is calling me right now. Give me a second, guys. All right, PPR, start Waddle, Cup, Puka, Olave. Start 2. Good Lord. Man, how do you make that decision? You got to start Cooper Kupp. I'm going Cooper Kupp and Olave, but you have to recognize that we know Puka could go off at any moment. So trust your gut there, Steven. Tied in McBride or Kelsey. I'm going McBride over Kelsey now. I am. Oh, it's funny, Steven. We actually just got to your question finally. But yeah, I answered this one. I said I'm going. Oh, this must be a different one then, because there's no Cooper Kupp. Okay, so start 2, Olave, Puka. We'll go Olave, Puka, and then Kelsey or McBride. We will go McBride. I know it sounds crazy, but if I have McBride, I'm trusting him over Kelsey at this point. Thanks for the donation, Steven. All right, guys, keep in mind we'll be live for the next 7 minutes. It is the last stream of the year for us. We're going on break. Super chats will be answered over, they'll get the priority here. But I am going in order, and Crime Lord is the next one. He says, hey, fellas, full PPR. Flex 2, Waddle, Wilson, JT, Nico, James Conner. This will be Waddle and probably Jonathan Taylor for me. Taysom Hill or Schultz. We're going Schultz if you need safety. Taysom if you need upside. Carr or Minshew. We will go Minshew. Bears or Dolphins D. We'll go Bears. We'll go Bears. Ty Chandler or Zeke. I haven't had that one yet this week. I'd probably go Ty. Yeah. I think I would go Ty there. That's a tough one. Yeah, you hit me with a little curveball there. That's what I would do. I'm pretty sure we answered aces in a super chat already. Let me just double check here. Yes, we did. We did just get another super chat, though, from Big Money Joe. So we're going to answer his question straight away. Big Money Joe says, Diggs, Olave, Sutton, Addison, Deontay need 3 full point PPR. This is the order. I have them ranked, worried about Diggs with the new OC and Olave off injury. Okay. So okay, so Diggs, Olave, Sutton, Addison, Deontay. That's how I would have it ranked as well. I want to trust Addison off of last week, but at the same time, it was only like 6 or 7 targets, and Jefferson is still getting worked back in. So this would be Diggs, Olave, Sutton for me as well. And I understand the concerns that you have. I would share those concerns as well, but ultimately, I couldn't find a way to sit those names. And I think you would probably agree with me there. Let me just get Jamar Chase out of these rankings here before I submit them. Okay, and we do have another super chat from Michael1. He says, Stafford or Dak? Dak killed me last week. Look, I get it, but at the same time, every player has a down week. I'm starting Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's the quarterback 3 on the year. From week 8 to week 14. I mean, he's averaging like well over 29 fantasy points. It's crazy how many points he was putting up. So I definitely hear where you're coming from, but if it was me and I had to make the decision, I would be putting Dak in there. I'd be putting Dak in there. All right, guys, just 4 minutes left. Get your super chats in if you want something desperately answered. Otherwise, I'm going in order. Craig Lennox says, hi there. You think Prescott will be okay? I have Hurts and Purdy in. Yes, I think Prescott will be okay. Everyone has an up and down game. Adam says, would you start Swift or K9? I'll go Kenneth. Anti-Up says Olave or Mixon. I'll go Olave. Close, though. The Jedi says pick 2, full PPR, Puka, Eckler, and Cooper. This would be Puka and Cooper for me. Mark and Soul says Ferguson, Waller, Schultz, 1 to play, 1 to drop. I'd be playing Ferguson, and I'd be dropping probably Schultz at this point. Let's see if Waller picks up some steam. Puka or Addison? I'll go Puka. Zachary says, should I start Aaron Jones, Eckler, or Stevenson? Aaron Jones, Eckler, or Stevenson? I think I'll go Aaron Jones there. Also, Puka or James Conner. Puka for me. We did just get a super chat. Let me make sure I get to that from... we answered Michael's, right? I'm losing my mind now. I'm pretty sure we answered. We said Dak. But Big Money Joe donated. Says, thanks, fellas. Enjoy your vacation. Great year. Same to you, man. Hopefully, all of you guys enjoy, your holidays with your family. Make sure you're with family or friends and, take in the moments. Thanks, Big Money Joe. Stevenson or Reed? I'll go Reed if he plays. Najee, Spears, Edwards, Helaire. I don't think that Edwards is going to be a play anymore because Pacheco is probably back. So it's between Najee and Spears. If you have any sort of PPR, I would go Spears. I think we answered iPhoenix's question in a super chat. Jake says full PPR, flex 1, Myers, Thielen, Collins, Waller. I'd be going Collins. What's up, Styles? Start Carr, Browning, or Heineke. I'll go Browning. Love you, Styles. Thanks for showing up to the stream. Stevenson or Reed. I'll go Reed. Elisha says full PPR, Cooper Kupp or Chris Godwin. I'll go Cooper Kupp. Any preference between Aaron Jones, Javonte, and Ty Chandler? Probably Aaron Jones, to be honest. Just because there's a lot of injuries at running back. There's a lot of injuries at wide receiver. Aaron Jones has a great matchup. Let's see. Tua or Kyler? I'll go Tua. Jason says Ford, Deontay, Najee, start 1. This would be Deontay for me. Tough call, though. Tough call. Puka or Jonathan Taylor? I'll go Puka. Pick one. Taylor, Montgomery, or Walker. Jonathan Taylor, if that's Jonathan Taylor. Alex says start 2. Kupp, Bijan, Higgins, Aaron Jones, James Conner, and Devin Singletary. I would go Kupp and Higgins based off what we've seen recently. Purdy or Fields? Yeah, that's a great question. I'll go Fields versus Arizona. And probably the last one for today. We can only get so many in one stream. 369 says, greetings, Dynasty League. Get to keep 5. Who are you keeping? Lamar, Kyler, Bijan, Pollard, Jacobs, Olave, Sun God, Devonta Smith. These are the main guys I would consider. Can you rank them 1 to 5? Well, some really important context, which I don't have, is this a super flex league? Is this PPR, half PPR? Because I honestly can't answer this question well without that context. But I'll assume it's a 1 quarterback league. I'll say Lamar, Bijan, Olave, Devonta. In order. In order, it would be Bijan, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lamar, Olave, and depending on how your league values running backs, probably Devonta Smith or Josh Jacobs there. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Appreciate y'all. I'm sorry we weren't able to answer everyone's questions, but again, thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support this year. It's been a really, really awesome year. It's been cool to see the growth. Again, we're going to take a 2-week break here, and then we will be going hard on our Dynasty channel when we come back in January. If you are not subscribed to the Dynasty channel, check it out with the link in the description. If you like fantasy football, you will love Dynasty football, and we go live all the time, bunch of content. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and see you guys soon. All love. Best of luck in the playoffs.